now.
Thousands of hockey fans have been waiting months to be right here, right now for an NHL game live in St. John's. I'm Carolyn Stokes at Mile 1 Center, where the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators will be facing off in a preseason exhibition game. Fans are hoping to see stars like
Anderson all the way.
And
I like them all.
And
Austin Matthews.
awesome. And I'll be here to bring you all the excitement right until the puck drops at 7 o'clock. But right now, let's go back to Anthony on the desk for today's top news.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn. Good evening. Welcome to Here and Now. I'm Anthony Germain. We start our news tonight with resolving racism. The Premier privately met with the Innu Nation in Labrador following last week's fallout with MHA Perry Trimper. And the Premier arrived with a promise.
Indigenous groups should be able to receive government services with respect, with dignity, and with equality. So we've agreed to put together a working group to deal with these issues, but also there's been a long-standing negotiation that's been happening with the land claims agreement with the Innu Nation, and we've agreed now to expedite those negotiations, and both feel that we need to find an agreement on Innu land claims.
But all is not resolved. The Grand Chief of the Innu Nation has strong concerns about the other voice captured on that accidental voicemail recording, the voice of a woman who describes the Innu as entitled. Gregory Rich wants to know who that woman is.
I know one of the things that we discuss is try to address it and try to find out who this person is, because we cannot be at the table while this person is not identified in child welfare issues, land claims, and so on. So we need to know this person who is, because we cannot work with a person at the table who is still not unidentified.
Well, now the Leader of the Opposition, Ches Crosby, is also pushing for the woman's identity to be revealed. The Leader of the Opposition says the Grand Chief is right, and he wonders how Premier Ball can say the woman is not in a decision-making role if the Premier doesn't know who she is. I spoke with Gregory Rich this afternoon, and my full interview with him will be on Here and Now in about 25 minutes. In other news, 1 in 5 people in Newfoundland and Labrador is without a doctor. That's according to a new poll from the province's Medical Association. The survey was conducted by Narrative Research, and that's the new name for what was Corporate Research Associates. And according to the Medical Association, the doctor shortage is an issue on both sides of the overpass. Of the 400 people surveyed, 81% said that they do have a family doctor, but that leaves 19% of people without one. As many as 99,000 Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are without a regular family doctor. Well, staying with polls, good news for the province's NDP, bad news for the Progressive Conservatives. Support for each party has changed, and in opposite directions since the provincial election in May. A Narrative Research phone survey found among decided voters, support for the Tories is at 32%. That's down 10 points from May, and the lowest the party has polled since last February. In the other direction, 23% of decided voters are backing Alison Coffin's party, the NDP. And that means support for the New Democrats has nearly tripled. It's up 16 percentage points since the spring election.
We are ecstatic. This is such a good result, and I think it really proves to the people of the province that change is possible, and we represent that change. Our caucus is all brand new, we have new ideas, and we are building on the strength of the old ideas that we had. So we're seeing that our party has grown a fair bit, we are approaching ideas slightly differently, and we've been given such a good opportunity in sitting with the balance of power. So I think that certainly helped along the way, and how we've been managing that has contributed.
And you might be wondering how the governing Liberals fared in the poll. Well, they're holding pretty steady in the #1 spot with 42% of voters voicing their support. The margin of error for the survey is plus or minus 3.5 percentage points, 95 times out of 100. On the campaign trail today, Justin Trudeau's election machine bustled into St. John's for a very quick announcement. He's promising to boost the Canada Child Benefit by 15% for babies and to extend 15 weeks of paid leave to adoptive parents. But before he headed back out on the campaign trail off to PEI, Trudeau was asked about some provincial and municipal issues. Here now's Mark Quinn with the details.
Justin Trudeau spent more time singing with babies than he did speaking with journalists. But local reporters did squeeze in 2 questions. First, will the federal government keep its promise to help the province with skyrocketing electricity costs? It's expected the province needs at least $200 million annually to keep costs down.
We will be there to support on rate mitigation, and I can tell you that we're working very hard on that, and we'll continue to work very hard on that with Dwight Ball.
A source told CBC that it's unlikely an announcement will come on this issue before the October 21st federal election. Trudeau was also asked about the federal promise to pay half the costs of upgrading wastewater treatment facilities in St. John's. An upgrade that was made necessary when the federal government changed the rules to require more cleaning of wastewater.
We made that commitment to 50% off the very top, and we are still committed to that amount of money.
Sounds good, but the cost of that project has increased to more than $255 million. So the federal government's 50% is now closer to 44%. Leaving the municipalities that will use that facility with millions more to pay. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, it wasn't all business. The Prime Minister was also spotted running around Kitty Lake in St. John's this morning. Nice early run in the morning. And staying with politics, Newfoundland comedian Rick Mercer has found himself right in the middle of the federal election, although he didn't expect it this time around. And now he wants the Conservatives to take down a social media post that Mr. Mercer calls fake. This photo was allegedly posted on Facebook by a Conservative constituency association in British Columbia. Screenshots of the picture are circulating on social media, and it quotes Rick Mercer as urging people to vote Conservative. Now, most of the quote is accurate, just that last part about voting Conservative. Mercer says he only encouraged people to vote, but not to vote for any particular party, and he has tweeted to the Conservative Party and its leader, Andrew Scheer, asking for the photo to be taken down, and it does appear that that picture is no longer on that constituency's website.
Guess either the candidate or the person who runs the candidate's social media campaign sat back and said, you know, why don't we just create this huge lie and put it on the internet, and maybe people will think that this individual has endorsed our candidate. I mean, it's so far-fetched. It's just like you could do it to anyone.
He ran back inside to say, Mom, 2 tires are missing from the car. And of course, I thought he was just fooling around and it was a joke.
But her son wasn't kidding. Somebody jacked up her car and stole 2 tires, and now she's frustrated with the response from police. That story just ahead.
Feeling pretty fall-like out there. Here were the temperatures today across the province, 12 degrees in St. John's, but that number was from this morning. That temperature has steadily dropped through the day. You can see sitting around 9 degrees, 6 in Twillygate. Take a look at some of these winds that we're seeing right now. Quite strong with gusts upwards of about 80 kilometers per hour for Twillygate. Otherwise, we're looking at gusts anywhere from 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. These winds are going to continue as we head through the overnight. We've got another round of rain on the way as well. We'll have all the details coming up.
Well, thank you, Ashley. Now to Mount Pearl for an eyebrow-raising theft. A resident is wondering how the tires could have been stolen off her vehicle in a very well-lit neighborhood, and she also wants to know why the police don't seem to be too concerned about it. Here now is Meg Roberts with that story.
It was Holly McHugh's son who noticed something a little different about her vehicle while playing outside Sunday morning. 2 driver's side tires were missing.
I thought he was just fooling around and it was a joke.
To her shock, it wasn't. McHugh is still trying to figure out how the thieves were able to pull it off. She says her neighbors were having a bonfire until about 2 a.m. that night, and the street, which she describes as being part of a friendly neighborhood, is very well lit.
It's the fact that someone could be so brazen to come and take somebody else's property that they've worked for. That's the part that makes me angry.
To add to the boldness of the crime, a taxi driver who was in the area apparently saw 2 people stealing the tires and later alerted McHugh. The suspects also left the car jack behind. But McHugh says the police didn't even show up.
I kind of expected to have someone come by and just, I guess, talk to us or see if there was any kind of investigation maybe they could do. But like I said, they I guess, don't have the resources to investigate this type of crime. So it was kind of left in my hands.
McHugh understands this kind of crime isn't top priority, but she's concerned after posting about the incident on Facebook. She says multiple people reached out to her with similar stories about stolen tires. Some said nothing ever got done about it, and others told her they felt it was useless to even report it to authorities.
I want everyone to feel like they're safe and they can report to the police. I want them to feel like, you know, they're going to get some kind of resolution at the end of something like this happening.
The RNC say it's investigating the incident and it's encouraging people who have information to come forward. Meg Roberts, CBC News, Mount Pearl.
Survivors of sexual assault in St. John's now have a way to report an incident without going to police. A third-party reporting program is launching today where a person can make a complaint and have their story recorded without triggering a police investigation. Now, supporters say this will empower those who are directly affected by sexual violence. Here now, Zach Gowdy explains.
Many of you here today are probably hearing about third-party reporting for the first time and wondering exactly what that phrase means.
It's a simple idea, but supporters say it could have a huge impact. Third-party reporting gives survivors of sexual assault a way to get their stories on record without facing the police or automatically triggering an investigation.
We recognize that the prospect of speaking to the police and filing a formal complaint is a daunting prospect for many people who have experienced trauma, and that many survivors may want to share their story, but are not yet ready to begin a formal criminal justice process.
The program will be run by the Journey Project in St. John's. Trained staff will record the complaints, then redact them before passing the anonymized report to the RNC. That report can be used to build a case even years after the fact if the survivor decides to go forward. Police can also use the information to find patterns and other details in the stories that could help catch a serial predator. Sufjan Bolag was convicted of assaulting 3 women in the summer of 2012. The RNC says a program like this could have helped stop him sooner. In recent years, there have been many high-profile cases of people coming forward with stories of past sexual assaults. Those people are commonly asked, why didn't you go to police at the time? Yet repeated studies show the vast majority of sexual assaults go unreported, often due to a victim's fear of being further traumatized by the justice system. This pilot program was a year in the making and involved many partner organizations, including the RNC. Supporters say it puts this province on the leading edge in its approach to sexual violence.
This is, I think, leading the way not only in this province, but in this country. The amount of policies that were developed, the people who are on the ground, this was truly a working committee. And we've already been approached by many organizations throughout Canada, both police agencies, community-based agencies, and governments saying, how did you do this?
For now, the service is available only at the Journey Project office in St. John's. Supporters have set a goal of expanding it province-wide. Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.
The Canadian International Dental Foundation has donated a new piece of equipment to the gathering place. This panoramic X-ray machine costs about $35,000 to buy, and it'll be used to help the homeless as well as other people who live in poverty who can't afford to see a dentist. The gathering place serves the vulnerable in St. John's. The community center offers other services such as lunch programs and medical clinics. It opened a dentist's office less than a year ago.
This is a great asset to the clinic for sure. I've gotten to use it today, and we can just diagnose and treatment plan patients much more thoroughly with this so that we know that we're giving the care that we're able to give to them. For decay and gum disease, so we can direct those patients to where they have to go.
Well, it's been open for only 2 years, but the Paul Reynolds Centre in St. John's already has a controversial, maybe cursed history. The latest in just a couple of minutes. And she used the blow dryer to get some of the raindrops off the jacket today.
A little earlier, yeah.
It was a bit wet.
Chilly.
Yeah, and
Or,
cool. And
yeah,
wet.
It was.
And cool.
All of those
Yeah.
things. Yeah, it started off, you know, not too bad. We'll take a look at the temperature. Now that 12 degrees, and I say not too bad, it's because compared to what it is now, dropped through the day. Otherwise, we were sitting in the single digits, so quite chilly, even up through St. Anthony, 9 degrees, Lab City at 10. And if you take a look at the current temperatures, there you go. They've dropped quite a bit, a couple of degrees. 9 degrees for St. John's, 6 in Twillingate, and 10 right now in Badger. And you can see that northerly flow. And unfortunately, that's going to stick around with us as we head through at least the next 24 hours. And then we're in for a little bit of a warm-up. Here's a look at the current sustained winds, rather. Strongest winds for Twillingate, 67 kilometer per hour winds. And we do have some gusty winds down through Gander as well, 35 kilometers per hour. Add in those gusts, seeing closer to 60 kilometers per hour, Twillingate at 80. So these winds will generally stick around as we head through the overnight tonight. We can thank a low pressure system for that. Here's a look at all the cloud cover we saw today. A few peaks of sun for the Avalon about an hour ago now. But rain has moved off. We are still seeing drizzle and showers. Radar not quite picking up on that, but that will continue to head a little bit further south and west, or south and east as we head through the night tonight. So we should see some periods of rain along with this. Southeastern Labrador looking at that potential for some showers and drizzle, but your temperatures are going to be quite cold again. So those winds, like I said, will stay quite strong, especially along the coast with that northerly flow still sitting in the single digits. And then that chance of periods of rain, 6 degrees for Corner Brook, 7 for Port aux Basques, and then up through Labrador, 3 degrees for Nain under partly cloudy skies. But again, going to continue to see that chance of showers for southeastern portions. Lab City going down to -4 tonight under clear skies and light winds. So certainly a chilly evening in store for you. Now, as far as that rain goes, this takes us through to tomorrow morning. We're looking at about a trace to 10 millimeters of rain. Add in the rainfall that's going to happen tomorrow afternoon. Could see pockets of between 10 to 20 millimeters of rain, specifically along the northeast coast and the northern tip of the Avalon as well. But things should clear out, at least for the western portions, by the time the afternoon rolls around, and then taper to showers as well through central, and then clearing skies, the story for Labrador as a ridge of high pressure dominates. Some clouds will skirt in, though, with that chance of showers into the overnight for northern Labrador. So here's a look at your temperatures, not really moving much, still sitting just at the double digits for St. John's at 10 degrees, 9 for Clarenville, heading towards central, even cooler, sitting in those 7 to 8 degree temperatures. Along the west coast, a little bit warmer. Again, south coast will likely see some sunshine during the day. Stephenville, 12 degrees, Gross Mourne, 11, and then those chilly temperatures, but eventually clearing for Mary's Harbor, 9 degrees. And then as we head west, we're looking at those warmer temperatures. Lab City, the hot spot, or Happy Valley, Goose Bay rather, the hot spot at 16 degrees. And this trend will generally continue, but I'll have all those details coming up.
Emergency repairs to a relatively new pool and community center in St. John's will cost almost $1 million. The Paul Reynolds Community Center in the east end of the city opened in June of 2017, but it has been closed multiple times because of a number of repair issues. And the latest repairs are going to be to the center's heating system, which has had a number of ongoing problems. The city says excessive moisture is causing corrosion, and that's affecting electronics, fire and safety systems, even phones and computers. The cost for those repairs, $935,000. The pool won't reopen again until late October.
Any second now, the Toronto Maple Leafs players will start heading out that door to start their warm-up for this evening's preseason game against the Ottawa Senators. But no matter who you're cheering for tonight, this is a very exciting place to be. But don't take it from me. We'll speak with some fans coming up, including two sisters who have a very interesting sibling rivalry going on. That's up next.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, if like many people you couldn't get a ticket, we're going to help you out and go to Mile 1 where Carolyn Stokes is tonight. A big night for hockey fans in the province. The Toronto Maple Leafs about to hit the ice for an NHL game against the Ottawa Senators. So Carolyn, I guess the excitement's building a little bit, would you say?
Oh, absolutely. You can feel it in the air. People are just starting to pile in now. We still have about 30 minutes or so to the puck drop. But yes, the fans are super excited. A lot of blue and white in the fans. Not seeing a lot of Senator fans here, but I did manage to find one, sort of. Let me introduce you to Erica Thorne, and this is Michelle, and you guys are sisters. So let's just start with why you guys wanted to come see the game tonight.
Well, I've been a diehard Leaf fan all my life, and well, Michelle, she loves hockey, but she don't like Leafs, so she decided to wear Ottawa.
But you're not really an Ottawa fan, is that right? Can you explain this to me?
I'm not really an Ottawa fan. I'm a true Montreal fan, but I hate the Leafs, so I'm going for Ottawa Senators tonight.
So you're kind of wearing the jersey for spite. Just to tease your sister? What do you think about that, Erica?
Well, I think she should wear Leafs, but I mean, Leafs is the best one to wear.
And how long have you been a Leafs fan?
Ever since I could watch hockey and know what it was all about. I played hockey for about 12 years, so I always was a Leafs fan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And what is it about the Leafs that you love so much?
Probably just how good the fans are overall, because the fans, I mean, we're all family, and it's just, I don't know, fun game to watch.
So what's it like when you guys are watching a game together between the Leafs and the Habs?
Well, pretty loud. Yeah, it's we usually can't sit in the same couch or anything.
So are you going to be that way tonight? Can you give me a sample of what you're going to be like if the Leafs score a goal?
Oh, she's not going to be very happy. That's why her mom sat between us. Yeah.
And you guys came a long way to be here, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
About 4-hour drive. We left this morning from Fortune, so it was pretty long. It was full car ride, even with a little Yorkie with us, so it took a while, but I mean, it's worth it.
And Michelle, you're a bit outnumbered here tonight. Even though you're a true blue Habs fan, you are wearing a Senators jersey. How does it feel to be so outnumbered?
It don't really feel that bad.
Here we go. Well, as you can see behind us, the Toronto Maple Leafs are coming out right now to warm up for the game. You can really feel how exciting it is.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Well, I'll let you guys go back to your seats and enjoy the warm-up. We have about 30 minutes or so until the puck drops. Looking pretty good out there so far. The Leafs and the Senators on the ice. Reporting live from Mile 1 Centre, I'm Carolyn Stokes for Here and Now.
Well, the province and the Innu Nation have a new understanding after signing an agreement last night. Premier Dwight Ball has committed to instituting sensitivity training in the wake of Perry Trimper's resignation after making controversial comments about the Innu Nation playing the race card. And this was with respect to an apparent argument about translation services. Trimper's remarks were unexpectedly captured in a voicemail after he failed to properly hang up his new smartphone. Well, last night's agreement goes further. It also says the province will expedite land claims and self-governance negotiations. Grand Chief Gregory Rich joins us now from Happy Valley Goose Bay. Welcome to Here and Now.
Yeah.
So, Chief Rich, how have we managed to get from a minister resigning in disgrace to a government that is suddenly getting urgent about moving ahead on land claims and self-governance? How did this happen?
A lot of our people in both communities were hurt, and we had to do something about this, because this has happened for many years now, where racial comments towards the are an everyday life for our people.
Right.
We have been tabling our issues with the provincial government, like, for example, child welfare issues and land claims, and I think it's important that we need to understand why these issues were not moving forward, and to have a minister make these kind of remarks and the attitude that shows towards people, maybe it was a result of this kind of behavior.
Right. Well, let's talk about that, because last night's agreement stipulates some kind of news sensitivity training for government. When we talk about reconciliation and forgiveness, Mr. Trimper said that he was sorry, made a stupid mistake. How will sensitivity training help somebody like Perry Trimper?
Well, this is a document that we signed yesterday. It's new, and it's a start in addressing this racial behavior towards the Innu. It'll be a start to go forward. And if we address this behavior, maybe we can solve things. Maybe we can solve child welfare. Maybe we can solve land claims and other issues that's before the provincial government. And at the same time, we have to look forward for our children, our grandchildren, because we are addressing the racial behavior to the governments, and we're telling them this is a problem and this is a long time problem. Hopefully, the young generations and young people, they don't have to face it that what we are facing today.
Now, the woman who was speaking with Trimper said that you, the Innu, have a sense of entitlement, and you have said that the Innu Nation can't negotiate with the province over public services in Labrador while this woman remains unidentified. What will you do, Grand Chief Rich, if this woman's identity is revealed?
This will be one of the obstacles in sitting down at the table where we don't know this person, who she is. But once it's revealed, then we're more comfortable going at the table for a discussion of child welfare, land claims, etc.
Right. Well, clearly Perry Trimper knows who he was talking to. What's taking so long to find out who this person is?
Well, when this story was out, I asked Perry if he could tell me the name of this person, and he wouldn't tell. And I think the sooner we know who this person is, the sooner we can get these talks on the way.
All right, Chief Gregory Rich, Grand Chief Innu Nation, appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now, as was reported earlier, Dwight Ball says there will be cultural sensitivity training for government employees. The Premier also maintains that the woman speaking on tape with Perry Trimper does not have a decision-making role within government. But last night, Ball said that he doesn't actually know who the woman is. Here Now's Jacob Barker pressed him on that issue.
What I do know is that this is not a deputy minister. What I'm told, that this is not someone that's in a decision-making role, like a manager or a director or
you
a
can't
policy
ask.
person.
Can you not ask Perry Trimper?
We've had those discussions, and we both understand that we need to know that who was in the room, who's speaking in the room, and what they've stood for in the past.
If it is do you know? You can't say if it's a public servant then.
Right now, I don't know the name of who it would be. I understand it could be someone in government, but not at the executive, the managers, or deputy minister's role, as an example, or someone that would be making decisions around policy. We have to find this out.
You can't. Perry can't tell you.
Well, right now I spoke with Perry this morning. We need to find out who this is because, as the Grand Chief has said, if we are going to have a path forward to reconciliation, to deal with the issues around services provided, it's important that we know who's in the room.
Now, if you remember from yesterday, protesters were outside MHA Perry Trimper's constituency office yesterday. Jacob Barker was there. They were demanding the former cabinet minister's resignation, that is to say, leave completely. The Lake Melville representative posted a statement on his Facebook page today, and in it, he does not express any plans to resign, nor does he mention the identity of the woman in the recording. His posting reads, in part, "I have no pattern of this behavior nor any previous example, even when provoked under pressure. I let people down last week, and for that, I am truly sorry." He goes on to say, "While I created a setback, I am committed to continuing with the journey." Welcome back to Here Now. In national news tonight, if you fly economy, there's something you really need to know that could cost you hundreds of dollars. And it was a situation that shocked a couple in Dartmouth who say it's just plain wrong. And now they're taking the airline to court. CBC's Yvonne Colbert has that story.
I thought she had to be wrong.
Ron and Marina Corkery are still shaking their heads over their experience with WestJet in June. They traveled basic economy from Halifax via a 2-hour layover in Toronto to London, Ontario. In Toronto, WestJet canceled, then reinstated their flight to London, but changed the gate. The Corkerys didn't hear the announcement, but noticed the change on the airport screens.
We immediately packed up, grabbed our bags, and started running from gate 18 to gate 40, which is the other end of the terminal.
When they arrived, the plane door had just closed. The agent told them they'd missed their flight and lost their ticket.
And I said, "What do you mean lost my ticket?" She said, "Well, you lost your connection flight and you've lost your return flight."
The couple was shocked.
I didn't think that legally that could happen to anyone in Canada.
But it does, and it's legal. It's written in airline tariffs, the rules set out for how airlines deal with their passengers. WestJet points out passengers see messages as they're booking basic economy fares, telling them their flights cannot be canceled or changed. In an email, a WestJet spokesperson told CBC, in the instance a guest misses a flight or connecting flight while traveling on a basic fare, subsequently all additional segments of this ticket are forfeited. The Corkerys say the prompts don't say that and the language is not clear. Air Canada has the same policy, citing this line of its tariffs. Flight coupons will be honored only in the order in which they are issued. WestJet has apologized for the Corkerys' disappointment, but says gate changes are announced in the airport at the time the change is made. They're also posted on all airport terminal screens. The Corkerys spent more than $300 on a rental car to get to London. WestJet did give them a $200 credit for the return flight they had to rebook, but it cost over $900 extra, more than the cost of their original flights there and back. Yvonne Colbert, CBC News, Halifax.
A Quebec man who'd been saving rolls of nickels and dimes was surprised and disappointed when his bank refused to take his coins. And as strange as it sounds, it turns out some Canadian banks are becoming cashless. CBC's Lauren McCallum explains.
Julien Perrotte spent a long time meticulously counting his loonies, toonies, quarters, and smaller change. He then rolled them up into neat little packages. It's no small change either. Perrotte had accumulated nearly $800 in a single year, and he was excited to deposit it into his account at the Laurentian Bank right next door. But to his shock, the bank would not take his money.
The lady said to me, after waiting in line, sorry, we don't take the coins anymore. So I'm like, what do you mean? So she's like, yeah, there's a new policy. We don't accept coins anymore.
Stunned, Perrotte asked the woman behind the counter what he should do with his coins.
Then she answers me very nicely. She's like, well, you can shop around with like grocery stores, dépanneurs, pharmacies. They love coins. They love coins. You go there and they will trade you your coins.
The Laurentian Bank would not grant us an interview, but in a statement, it confirmed that it no longer accepts coins. It says all other transactions can be done at a bank machine or by telephone so that its staff can focus on helping its clients with their financial planning. The CIBC also has some cashless branches, but many of them still accept change. The Royal Mint, the federal watchdog that oversees the country's banks, and the Canadian Bankers Association all say there is no law in place that forces banks to accept coins or any other kind of currency for that matter. Perrotte is worried going cashless could be a growing trend at Canadian banks, and he wants Ottawa to do something about it.
I'm scared that for saving money and cutting down the costs, all the banks will follow eventually if there's no laws or nobody's watching them. So what will happen? So we'll get stuck with the coins. We'll need to pay for getting rid of the coins.
Perrotte says after 15 years, he'll close his Laurentian bank account. He's thinking of changing his ways and depositing his cash at the Desjardins branch next door. Lauren McCallum, CBC News, Montreal.
Well, back to the federal election campaign now.
Good morning, everyone.
There are the Prime Minister, as you mentioned earlier. Liberal leader Justin Trudeau started the day in Newfoundland, where he promised to increase the Canada Child Benefit, as well as paid leave for adoptive parents. Meanwhile, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh started off with a housing announcement in Ottawa, and he says his government would build 500,000 new affordable homes in 10 years. Later ran off to Ontario to an international ploughing match. There's Andrew Shears, you see there, was in Winnipeg this morning. He's promising to boost Ottawa's contributions to RESPs. Under his plan, the federal government's maximum yearly grant would increase to $750. And there's Elizabeth May, the leader of the Green Party. She was in southern Ontario. She started in Waterloo, where she called for stronger digital privacy protections. An American cancer survivor has just completed a record-setting marathon swim, and I mean record. The 37-year-old crossed the English Channel 4 times without stopping.
I was really just pretty numb. There was a lot of people on the beach to meet me and wish me well, and that was really nice of them, but I feel just mostly stunned right now. I just can't believe that we did it.
Sarah Thomas plowed through the waves for 210 kilometers. It took her 54 hours as strong currents pushed her off course, repeatedly making the actual crossing longer than expected. Her coach would throw her some food and made sure that she stayed awake for this ordeal. And today, congratulations poured in from other swimmers and athletes, applauding her ability to overcome the cold, the exhaustion, not to mention the jellyfish that she says stung her in the face. Her team credits her with believing that the impossible is possible.
For the love of the North. He is from Makkovik, and he is from the Northern Peninsula. Both mesmerized by Nunavut, and they share their Arctic passion in their pictures.
Yeah, it's a great shot.
Coming soon on Here and Now.
Okay, well, let's find out what's in store as far as the weather goes. Still going to get wet again or colder?
Yeah, tomorrow, yes. We're going to hang on to these cooler temperatures. We can thank northerly flow for that. We'll take a look at the forecast for tomorrow. 10 degrees will be the the temperature for St. John's. Those northerly winds still sticking around again, upwards of 50 kilometers per hour, but those temperatures through central barely reaching the 7, maybe 8 degree mark for some areas, and then best chance of seeing that sunshine will be down along the south coast. Portabass, Burgeo sitting around 12 degrees, and that's where we should see some sunshine tomorrow. Otherwise, we're looking at about 10 to upwards of about 20 millimeters of rain by tomorrow afternoon along the northeast coast and the northern tip of the Avalon as well. Up through Labrador, beautiful afternoon expected, 14 degrees for Lab City. Some brisk winds though out of the northwest, upwards of about 20 kilometers per hour. Otherwise, Happy Valley Goose Bay, 16 degrees. Still those single-digit temperatures for the southeast coast, but skies should clear as we head into the evening hours, and then late day we'll see that chance of showers move in for northern portions of the Big Land. 15 degrees it should be the high for Nain. Now, once we get that low pressure system out of the way, it continues to track a little bit further east, those winds will shift, and that's because a ridge of high pressure will start to dominate. Again, there's that chance of showers I was talking about into Thursday morning for the coastal portion of Labrador. Northern Peninsula will likely be in on that as well. And then things should stay quite nice through the day on Thursday for most of the island. Otherwise, some more showers and potential for some cloud cover will move in, or the cloud cover and the potential for showers will move in for the Big Land. So here's a look at your temperatures, rebounding quite nicely with plenty of sunshine again. 16 degrees for Corner Brook, 18 in Grand Falls, Windsor. Quite the change from what we're going to see tomorrow. 13 degrees for St. John's. It's going to take a little bit more time to get some of that heat in play. 20 degrees for Happy Valley Goose Bay, again with that chance of showers. Lab City staying gray, and 15. So over the next couple of days, we will hang on to these warmer temperatures, but things will cool down by, it looks like Sunday. Now, I have rain in the forecast for now for St. John's and eastern Newfoundland. This could be potentially the remnants of what is now Hurricane Humberto. Still have many days to work that out, but still have that chance of showers in there now, and definitely will keep my eye on that over the coming days. Central Newfoundland, 18 to 21 by Friday. Again, have that chance of showers in for you on Saturday as well. Sunday looks nice and 17 degrees. For Western Newfoundland, 11 tomorrow, and then into the teens as we head into Friday. Drop in temperatures on Saturday, and Sunday looking at 16 degrees. For Eastern Labrador, 20 degrees by Thursday and Friday, and then for Western Labrador, should stay in the teens. Overnight lows dipping into the single digits by the weekend, and plenty of sunshine and 12 degrees for Saturday. So that's a look at your forecast. I'll have your weather photo coming up.
All right, so Ashley and I holding down the fort here, but Carolyn Stokes, she's down at mile 1 with a great assignment that people would give their teeth for, covering some of the biggest hockey names in the NHL. Carolyn.
Thanks so much, Anthony. Yeah, lots of people milling about here tonight, all hoping to see some of their favorite players. Mitch Marner will be on the ice tonight. Austin Matthews is in town, but he's not going to be playing tonight. Now, earlier this afternoon, I did catch up with one member of the Toronto Maple Leafs to find out how the players have been enjoying their time in St. John's.
Went on that helicopter tour one of the first days we were here. That was awesome. It was a great day for it, and it's beautiful out here. So anytime you get the opportunity to see a place like that from a helicopter, I'd never been on one. It was pretty cool. And
where did you go on the helicopter?
We went up to Cape Spear, I think it was, and then Signal Hill, and just kind of along the coast on the water. We were able to see some of the cliffs and the banks, and it was a gorgeous day, so it was great for that. And then we've just been eating at some restaurants, walking around town, and just enjoying the kind of Newfoundland culture, I guess.
Anything in particular that you did aside from the helicopter ride that was particularly fun?
No, I think it's just going out to meals with the guys, getting to know everyone. I'm new here, so being able to meet them and eat at some of the nice restaurants here has been great. And then just, I mean, all the people here are so welcoming that you go into any restaurant and you feel like you're at home, and the way that they embrace the Leafs here, it's been pretty cool.
So it sounds like the players have really been making the most of their time in St. John's. But now, for people who don't normally watch hockey, which is, I am one of them, some of the hockey lingo can sometimes be a bit confusing. Phrases like he fanned the shot or off the iron. Well, the players in town this weekend also learned some tricky language. They learned some of our local lingo. Here they are giving it their best shot.
I'm guessing, who are you?
Who hit you?
What kind of clothes are you wearing?
Who are your parents? Nice.
Yeah. Where he longs to.
Long may your big jib draw.
It's got to be related to sailing of some kind.
Stay alive a long time. Hope you live long. I'm guessing.
I don't even have one idea that could be.
Me nerves, you've got me drove.
I think that's got to be when you're with the girl, no? And like she's making you nervous.
Yeah, you know, my nerves got me shaking, or I'm nervous.
I'm nervous, or you got me all shaken or something like that.
I mean, I assume that just means you're getting on my nerves.
You're on my nerves? Get out of here.
I think it means you're getting on my nerves. Oh, okay. Oh, I get it, yeah.
Stay where you're to till I comes to you.
I mean, if that means stay put, then we got issues.
That's not even an English sentence.
Oh, God, that's a headache. But stay where you are until I get there.
Stay where you are, I'll come to you.
That was it. That was crazy.
I love Newfoundland sayings.
They were definitely good sports for sure, and they also definitely missed the net completely on some of those phrases. But we'll see how they score on the ice tonight. Reporting live from Mile One Centre, I'm Carolyn Stokes for Here and Now.
Well, sticking with the brand, where are you to? I want to know where you're to. This photo, pretty beautiful, I'd say. Robert Anderson sent us this photo, and I'll tell you where it was taken when we come back.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Welcome back to Here and Now. We're going to wind things down, starting with something rather beautiful.
A gorgeous weather photo. There it is.
Let me guess, Labrador?
Yes. What gave that away? Just the fact that the skies are absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, that photo was taken in Makkovik, just over the harbor there. So Robert Anderson sent us that lovely photo. We love, or I love specifically seeing the Northern Lights. And if you have any weather photos that you'd like to share with us, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
All right, gorgeous lights there in the sky. And the house lights were up at mile 1. Let's check in with Carolyn Stokes for one final time. Tonight, the game between the Leafs and the Sens starts in just a minute. Ashley's a Leafs fan. I'm a Sens fan. Carolyn cheers for the Zamboni. How's it going?
Well, you know, as you said, the game is just about to start in about a minute or so. But as you can see, lots of people still out and about here in the hallway getting a drink or two before they head on in and some snacks. But I just poked my head into the stadium and wow, it is packed in there. This is a hot ticket tonight. A lot of excited fans, all ages here. It's going to be a great time. Reporting live from Mile 1 Center, I'm Carolyn Stokes for Here and Now.
All right, have fun. Great assignment.
It is a great assignment.
And I guess you can explain the whole thing to her, right? Because you're heading to the game?
I am heading to the game.
So you can explain to her the different nuances of the sport and
a few things.
The strength of the Ottawa Senators.
I'm definitely not a pro, but I do know a thing or two.
All right. Well, you have a great time at the game. And for those of you at home, I know there were so many people who wanted to get tickets to that event. They couldn't get there, so I'm glad we could bring you inside Mile 1 just for a little bit of the action. And we'll see what the score is.
Yep.
Should be a good game.
Should be.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.